Hi guys, and welcome to another video edition for our midweek series. Guys, I'm so encouraged by the church's response as we've begun this new series, Set Apart, and really looking at the holiness of God and how it applies to us in many different facets of our own life. I'm really excited about how people are really getting it. More people are buying. We sold out the book, Set Apart, this past Sunday. So I want you to know, as family group leaders, the teaching that you're doing, the leadership that you're providing is making a difference. This week's midweek series is on hedonism, as we talk about this whole concept of pleasure. And I got to tell you, this is one that really strikes a chord in our world that we live in today. We live in a world that really is self-seeking as far as pleasure. And I know that as disciples, we repented and we came in to God's kingdom on fire. But yet we are inundated over and over and over again with this whole concept of pleasuring ourselves. And I think it is important that as you preach the word, you take this, your family group, you take this week's midweek and bring them back to first century Jerusalem. Matter of fact, let's go there. Whoa! Here we are in Old City, Jerusalem. Literally on the steps that many disciples probably walked, and yes, even Jesus. And you know what I want you to do today? When you get this message, I really want you to understand that as you preach this text, as you preach this message that the teachers have provided for us, I want you to walk the church back to the first century. You see, we're not going to compare ourselves to ourselves. We want to compare ourselves to Jesus Christ. And here in the first century, I want you to be reminded as you read these scriptures that we look at, that these are the very same scriptures that our first century disciples, our brothers and sisters, examined and wrestled with. I want you to help our church. There's three phases we're going to talk about with regards to hedonism. Number one, we're going to look at God has created things for our pleasure, and there is good that God has created for our enjoyment in this life. Number two, we're going to look at the pitfalls. That literally, we'll look at Solomon's life and see that this whole concept of pursuit of pleasures has a very, very dark side. And number three, we're going to talk, I want you to really make a point as you speak to the folks in your family group about what about us. And there are smaller groups where you can have more of a discussion. But in the larger groups, you can pose questions and maybe take a few comments here and there. But really, how's it going in our own life? You know, we need to talk about alcohol. We need to talk about those that smoke. Yes, there are brothers and sisters that will occasionally smoke cigars and things of that nature. We need to talk about tobacco use, but alcohol in particular. I think it's so easy to get caught up in this whole world, oh, I'm only having a drink here and there. But yet, I want to ask ourselves the question, is this what Jesus would really hold in high regard? You see, the standard is not the world. The standard is Jesus Christ. And I want us to really go after this with regards to alcohol, with regards to smoking, if those that are smoking. I want us to go after this whole concept of self-enjoyment, these pleasures. There are many things out there that you can buy and pursue that consume our life instead of being consumed with Christ. But here is where you really need to preach the word, guys, and make it applicable. Remember that little acronym I gave you, PIA, Principle, Illustration, and Application. Make it yours. Guys, you're doing a fantastic job. I love you. Let's take our church back to the first century as we examine ourselves and look at the holiness of God. I love you. May God be with you.